Hello, welcome to our January edition of the Parish Line, a production of CGov, the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel, about the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we'll take a look at a new technology just introduced by the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. We'll hear about a new program from our Housing Department to help keep residents in their homes, and we'll visit the parish's Mosquito Control Department to look at their winter preparations and to say so long to the retiring director. First, the police jury has elected a new president for 2011. J.P. Booth has the details.
The Calcasieu Parish Police Jury kicks off their new year with the new president. At their January 6th meeting, the police jury elected District 8 juror Guy Brame. At that meeting, former President Kevin Guidry welcomed him to the position.
Guy, congratulations. We know that you're going to do an outstanding job, Guy, and to have all of your peers here feel that way about you, I think that's outstanding. And to hold this position as president, believe me, it's one that you should really be honored with, because I know that I have been. And Guy, congratulations.
I'd just like to thank each and every one of y'all, every one of my colleagues, for the confidence that y'all placed in me this year and to do this job. And I'm very humbled to be sitting here right now tonight. So thank y'all very much.
President Brame was elected to the police jury in 2005 and is currently serving on his second term. He was chosen unanimously by his fellow jurors.
Well, it's a very humbling experience to have your colleagues have faith in you, confidence in you to do the job as president of the police jury. It is a big job. It's one that you don't take lightly. So it is an honor that they have the confidence in me.
Brame says there are some big projects in the works for 2011, including renovations to the Burton Coliseum, as well as tackling parish-wide drainage issues.
We're looking at Burton Coliseum. We're looking to put a new roof on it and have more events out there, maybe bring back the high school rodeo championships. We're working on parish-wide drainage projects that the engineering department is working on. They're very engaged in that. The wastewater committee has been meeting. That is a huge project for us to get problems solved with raw sewage going in our ditches.
And while the president is responsible for signing important documentation like evacuation orders, resolutions, and ordinance changes, the most important role of the president is to conduct the police jury meeting in an orderly fashion.
The main job for the police jury president is to run the meetings. That is my job. I think this is a great group of jurors that's on here. There's 15 of us. It's great to see 15 different minds coming together and making a decision. We don't always agree, but we always, at the end of the day, we have a solution, which is best for the citizens of Calcasieu Parish. That's our main goal.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
In addition to the new president, the jury elected District 1 juror Shannon Spell as vice president, replacing 2010 VP Les Farnham. The Calcasieu Parish Housing Department announced some new programs this month that are designed to help keep homeowners in their homes. Here's CGov's Molly Morgan.
Katrina, Rita, Gustav, and Ike wreaked havoc all across South Louisiana, causing numerous problems. And for many residents, that meant losing their homes. But due to the Homeless Prevention Rapid Rehousing Program, which is new to Calcasieu Parish, many of those residents may be able to get the help they need. Calcasieu Parish Federal Programs Development Coordinator Tarek Polite explains.
The program is primarily going to affect those who are homeless or who are at risk of becoming homeless. And we're going to implement it by working with our community, faith-based and nonprofit partners here in the community as we try to service those individuals as we become aware of their housing conditions. And so they'll be referred to our office, and we will determine whether or not they meet the eligibility criteria. And if they do, they'll be provided the assistance.
Tarek gives us more information on the requirements that residents must meet in order to qualify for the program.
Homelessness is a very complicated definition, but generally HUD defines homelessness as someone who is living in an emergency shelter or a temporary housing program, or someone who's living on the streets or in a car or someplace that's not fit for human habitation, and or someone who may be living with someone if it's within the last 30 days. That is the general definition of homelessness, and all applicants would have to meet that definition. Also, individuals who may be at risk of becoming homeless, in other words, those who are facing eviction, will also qualify for this particular program.
An additional requirement that residents must have is a FEMA number.
We're also requiring that they have a FEMA number, considering that the funds that we're using from the state are recovery hurricane dollars. So we have to have a FEMA number for that individual. The good thing is that the FEMA number does not have to be tied to this particular hurricane funding stream. So it can be from any of the 4 hurricanes that has affected our area within the last couple of years, between 2005 and 2008. So as long as they have a FEMA number from either Katrina, Rita, Gustav, or Ike, they can qualify for the program.
How is someone who's homeless able to afford the rent?
Generally, you'll be surprised that a lot of people who are homeless does not mean that they do not have income. They may be working, but just don't have enough money to have a place to stay. They may be paying more than 30% of their income toward rent, or even more toward rent. So in many cases that we see that some of the individuals are actually working. They may be working at a minimum wage job or something like that, and just don't make enough money to be able to afford a place to live. We will require that they provide us a proof of income, so that once we provide the assistance, that they would be able to sustain the unit that we're helping to subsidize in some manner. So it's not income-based, but they do have to show us proof that they do have an income.
The Homeless Prevention Rapid Rehousing Program will be funded through HUD's Community Development Block Grant monies allocated to the state.
The state received funding from HUD to help recover from Hurricanes Gustav and Ike, and about half of the money that the state received was sent immediately down to the 53 impacted parishes. So Calcasieu Parish received a portion, about $17 million of that funding, to implement their own disaster recovery programs, and this Homeless Prevention Rapid Rehousing programs is just one of the programs that they will administer with those $17 million.
Who will decide and control the program's design and how the money will be spent?
It is up to the parishes to come up with plans on how to spend the money. So in this particular situation, Tarek and Claire worked on a homeless prevention application that they submitted to our office for review and approval, but it's their program design. They decided who they wanted to serve, how they want to spend the money, how much of it. That's where they came up with the fair market rents and the limited time on the assistance and the amount, the total program amount.
If you've already applied for the Homeless Prevention Rapid Rehousing Program, contact the Office of Federal Programs at 721-3550 to find out if you qualify. For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
The Homeless Prevention Rapid Rehousing Program will work in conjunction with the free housing counseling services offered to many Calcasieu residents through the Parish Housing Department. Winter is here, and the cold weather has knocked mosquito populations way down. The Parish Mosquito Control Department is using the time to prepare for the onslaught of hordes of mosquitoes that is certain to come with warmer temperatures this spring. Here's Margaret Higgins.
The holidays are over, and most police jury departments are in full swing with their normal day-to-day activity. But for some departments, winter is a time to prepare for what lies ahead. Mosquito Control Director Lucas Terracina tells us more.
We're very busy getting all of our equipment ready for the next season, and if you don't do that, it doesn't last. And of course, we work with the people's money, and we try to make that money go as far as we can, and preventative maintenance is the key.
Maintenance on spray trucks is essential. Mosquito Control Assistant Director Scott Willis explains.
We have 12 trucks, and we bring them in, and we have the electrical systems. They'll rewire things and check the wiring on the trucks. We also they'll check all the chemical lines, the blowers and the blower heads, and just the engine. And sometimes we do some painting. We have belts that might need replaced, and it's just kind of an inspection and overhaul kind of the spray system. we'll spend several months in the wintertime just going from truck to truck, and different ones may require a little bit more work than others, but you know, sometimes it may take a week or so to work through a truck before they do that. And sometimes when we purchase new trucks, we'll have to switch over in the wintertime and completely redo a truck and take a new truck that we've purchased and just convert it over to a spray truck, and so that can take a few weeks to do something like that too.
Mosquito Control aircraft have specific FAA requirements. Aerial Maintenance Supervisor Jerome Geringer gives us the details.
Every year the FAA requires that we do an annual inspection on each aircraft. When we do the annual inspection, we tear the aircraft down in accordance to the manufacturer's recommendations as to what particular items need to be inspected, what items need to be overhauled, and also timed items that need to be sent in for repair. Most of the work we do here in the shop as far as on the annual, but there's some things such as engine overhauls, which we went ahead and we fab out. We usually get the factory to redo the engines, stuff like the landing gear and stuff that we're not equipped with to handle, because it would cost so much to gear up and tool up to do these items, so it's easier to fab most of it out. But as far as on the maintenance end, we do all in-house. J.R. Clark is currently redoing some of the pods. That's our pods that we use on the Islander to spray the chemical with. Every year we have to disassemble all the parts and equipment, go through them, make sure that we're all ready for the next year, and of course overhaul any parts as needed. When we do our inspections, we look, such as the brakes, will they last us through the year, or will they last us to a point where we can overhaul or replace them during the year? So that's the type of things that we look at during the winter as for the maintenance that's going to be upcoming during the spray season.
Light traps is another important part of the overall maintenance process.
This is some of our light traps we use to monitor mosquito levels in the parish. We have about 40 of these scattered throughout the parish. And in the wintertime we like to pull them in, disassemble them, look for any bad parts and change out the parts, and then we'll reassemble, paint, and then we should have a fresh start for the next year.
Mapping is critical for mosquito control, especially with new development in the parish.
In the wintertime, a project for our inspectors is to go out and map spray areas that we have. Calcasieu, we have 90+ spray areas, and they go out and drive all the roads, check for new subdivisions. It's a very tedious job. It takes a lot of time that they have to spend one whole day maybe just to check in a whole area.
Compiling data also plays a key role.
Everything that we do, every mosquito that we count, every sample that we send in to be tested, we have a record of it, and we have to enter that as data into our database so we can have a record of that for years. As years go by, we like to compile that and make graphs and different things like that. We also like to make reports from this data. We summarize all of the mosquitoes that we've caught. Every pool that we send off, we have the numbers and all the positives that we've received from the lab.
If everything's done during the winter that needs to be done, things run a lot smoother. During the year, we have fewer breakdowns, and everything works really well.
For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
After nearly 35 years at the police jury, Mosquito Control Director Lucas Terracina is retiring. CGov sat down with Terracina to talk about his career at the police jury, as well as life after retirement. Here's Jessica Conrad.
Wake up in the mornings and it'll be, well, you know, what am I doing today?
Director of Mosquito Control for over 30 years, Lucas Terracina says that driving into work every day will be a hard habit to break. But spending more time with his family is the first thing on his post-retirement to-do list and will make it easier to forget about the old 8 to 5.
I still have children in school, and my daughter plays softball, so I'm looking forward to being able to follow softball at McNeese without having to worry about what I have to do today with my job, or whether I can go to the games this weekend, or whether we're working. So that's going to be a little fun. And of course my son is in the band, and they're always doing performances and stuff, and so you know, I'm looking forward to being able to do those things and not have to worry about getting to work or making sure things are set at work or calling in while I'm out to see what's going on.
In In his many years serving the parish's mosquito control needs, Terracina says that he has seen a lot of changes in technology. One of the biggest efficiency boosters has been the way mosquito trucks spray chemicals.
The thing that has changed is the technology in the industry. I mean, it's gone from a manual type of operation to almost totally computerized. Years ago, that was real critical because you had to spray at 10 miles an hour because it was a manual feed to the sprayer. Today, with the variable flow, it allows us to go between 7 miles an hour and 20 miles an hour and spray the proper amount.
While technological changes create a large impact most of the public does not realize, it's the mosquito control building that helped to revolutionize the department.
We started out working in an old hangar building next to the old black hangar. It was actually a shop that was related to the black hangar, and we stayed in there until 1995 is when we moved out.
Being one of the higher profile directors for the police jury, the name Lucas Terracina has become synonymous with the word mosquito. But Terracina attributes his success to surrounding himself with great employees as well as having good leaders.
Well, anytime you have someone that's been around that long, but it takes a whole group of people to make it go. It's not just me. You know, you see me all the time, but I've been blessed with a lot of good workers, and without them, that would not have been possible. I see what a lot of the other people in parishes have challenges with, and we just don't have those challenges here. I've had the pleasure and privilege to work for some of the best people. You know, I was hired in this position by Rodney Vincent, and you know, I just think the world of Mr. Vincent. You know, I thought he was a really tremendous person and a great leader, and then of course worked for Mark McMurray for years and years, and you just can't say enough about him. You know, I learned a lot from both of them, and especially Mark, and then of course now I think Brian's going to do a good job, and I've enjoyed the short time I've had working with Brian, but there's a lot of good people in the parish. The people of Calcasieu need to be proud that they've had leaders like they've had and still have. I just really want to tell everyone in Calcasieu thanks, and I've enjoyed it, and the people that have worked for me have been really great people too, and can't say enough about a lot of them because they made my job a lot easier. I was able to focus a lot more on administrative issues when you have good people working under you, and you know, I just want to thank all of them for all of their hard work and years of dedication. I've got people here that have been here almost as long as I have, so you know, we've got a lot of good, dedicated employees, and you just can't say enough about those people either.
For the Parish Line, I'm Jessica Conrad.
Terracina says what he will miss most about the job is networking with other mosquito aficionados. He also says that procedures are in place for a smooth transition. The Parish Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness and the Calcasieu Sheriff's Department have unveiled a new technology for public safety and emergency response. The BATS system was shown to local media and to response agencies at a Southwest Louisiana mutual aid meeting.
BATS is actually an acronym for Broadband Antenna Tracking System. It's a product that enables antennas to track each other. One's at a fixed location, and the other one, such as is mounted on our mobile operations center, is able to go anywhere within the parish and park, and it will automatically find that stationary antenna. And that's the whole idea of this. It takes a technician hours and hours and hours to mount and aim two antennas. So this does it automatically through mechanisms and software.
And one thing about this, there's a couple of things that are really exciting about it. One is that our command center is outfitted with a satellite, but the satellite, of course, requires bandwidth from a provider, which results in a recurring daily cost. This is using equipment that we already have in place that was all bought by grants, and there's no recurring daily cost. So a 6-day deployment would cost us, potentially $50,000 or $60,000. There's zero recurring cost to the taxpayer, so we like that. And also, the equipment was all bought off grants, so there was no initial cost to the taxpayer either.
It will enable law enforcement to put up video sources such as IP cameras to watch a parade route. or if they're doing surveillance on a building, they can go ahead and set up these inconspicuous cameras and then bring their mobile operations center to another location, and it'll actually route it over. You can see behind me that panning video in the background is actually at the tower site at one of the sheriff's office towers, and it's being brought into here through this system.
OHSEP staff recently had a unique opportunity to see how the BAT system might help in an emergency situation when they had a mishap at their own emergency operations center.
In the middle of the summer last year, we had a water leak at the 911 building, which made us move from our location at 911 to 901 Lakeshore. And we used the same technology. We didn't have this in operation yet, but it's the same technology. We connected 901 Lakeshore to the Magnolia Life building through fixed antennas. And it took them most of a day to line it up. With this equipment, we could have moved our mobile operations center, parked it, and within an hour we could have established our network again.
This was actually an emerging technology grant that came out of Homeland Security through the Governor's Office of Homeland Security. 4 locations, 4 entities in Louisiana, one being GOSEP, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security, the Lafayette metro area, the Baton Rouge metro area, and the Lake Charles metro area were all awarded $450,000 grants for emerging technology. Our Communications Advisory Committee learned of the BAT system, worked with our local vendors, and with Motorola, and we're actually doing a point-to-point. As far as we know, this is the first time it's been done, period, literally on Earth. And we're also already receiving inquiries from engineers in England to want to know how this is working. So it's good. It does provide us an extremely economical, high bandwidth for our mobile vehicle.
The BAT system is fully operational and ready to be used by any local emergency agency. That's the Parish Line for the month of January. Thanks for tuning in. And if you'd like details on any of the stories on this month's program, or to watch the Parish Line on the web, go to cppj.net.